going on, everybody? Little Red 50 here. Figured I'd come at you and show you this video real quick. So it is cold. You can hear my truck warming up out here. We got snow on the ground, about 6 inches, like a woman, 6 inches. All right, so it's like an actual 6 inches or real close to it, or whatever it is they say. But you can see I'm all bundled up, got my mask on, got my Milwaukee jacket on, heated, but I don't have it turned on right now. I could, but it's not that cold. It's pretty cold. It's probably about 30 degrees out here right now. Anyway, so I just wanted to show you guys how I heat the side-by-side. I keep pushing this door open because I haven't propped it up yet. Oh, there we go, crappy shop. Anyways, so as you can see outside, it is snowed. It snowed for the last couple of days, but I just wanted to show you how I heat my side-by-side and how loud the thing is and how well it works and stuff like that. Under no circumstance am I telling anybody to do this, but I'm saying it works because it's super cheap. It's under 200 bucks to get this thing up and going, and it works really well. So let me, all right, sorry about the lighting. It's kind of crappy, but here we go. Here's what I got. It's a Vevor 8 kW heater, and you can hear it powering up there because I wanted to show you guys how well it worked with like a temperature gauge. But this is it. So it is in a Ryobi Link box. I think I paid like 60 bucks for this box, and I bought this heater on Amazon for $85 because it was on sale. I think they're originally like $120 or $100, something like that. Nothing too crazy. You can hear it powering up now. It's got a muffler on it, but it is an 8 kilowatt diesel heater. So the way I got this going is this cord right here goes to my battery, and yes, it's temporary because we don't leave it in there all the time. It's only in here every now and again. So I got this cord here, comes in, ties to the power inside of the heater. I'd show you that, but it's kind of sketchy. Here, I'll show you real quick. Right there with just a couple wire nuts. I cut this hole in here, that way it's got a place to breathe right there. So I took this stainless steel plate, I bent the edges down and made it fit inside of this box, and then mounted the heater to it, that way it doesn't slide around. And then that keeps this exhaust from burning into the bottom of the plastic box here. It keeps it nice and cool. Have had no issues with melting or nothing, and it works. As you can feel, it's getting hot now. So this is the exhaust, this is the air intake for the diesel chamber. And then this is the air intake to go into the side-by-side right there. If you look down, right there you can see the controller. It says it's 35.6 degrees right now. And then that over there is the feeding tube or ductwork or whatever that goes into here. That's the thermostat there. Comes in here, into the side-by-side, and feeds out right here. And I got warm air coming out now. I just fired this thing up to show you guys. But the kicker is, so I do not have the thermostat for the heater inside of this cab. It's actually that control thing I was showing you inside of the diesel heater. So what I do to keep it warm in here and not getting too hot is I leave little open vents like this. So I got a little open area on each side of this ductwork. There's open on this window all the way around. You can see the air gap there. There's some at the bottom of the door over here. There's an air gap right there. You can see it all down this door. Same thing with the driver's side door. And yeah, so there's, I mean, you can see it. There's little air gaps. So it keeps it, this thing pumps enough heat in here to keep it warm in here, like light jacket and pants kind of warm. And it's not too bad. Like it feels really good in here while you're riding around in like 20-degree weather. Because like last night, it was 20 degrees outside. Me and the wife were riding home. She was warm, I was warm. It was awesome. It was the best ride ever. But you can see how I have it. And without the thermostat being in here, it has no idea what the temperature is in here. And leaving all of these little open holes makes it to where it's pumping heat in, and it's not letting enough of it out to get super cold in here, because the heater doesn't know when to turn off. It has no idea. So right now, it'll keep pumping heat in this thing until the thermostat on the inside of that box hits 80, 90 degrees or whatever it is you have it set to. And that's the problem. That's why you leave all these little air gaps. So what I do, leave all these little air gaps, leaves just enough room to get enough cold and basically a mix of cold and hot air in here to keep it warm, but nothing crazy. It's not too hot. So like right now I got it cranking up. The other thing is the soft windows and doors I got off Amazon. These things were like $54, something like that. Once again, we don't use it often enough to actually need anything crazy, so this is what I use. And so far they've held up really well. Haven't had any issues whatsoever. No ripping, no tearing, no nothing. And I've been on probably 20-30 rides. There's at least 180 miles on these doors and still haven't had any problems whatsoever. The only issue I did have is whenever I got it from the factory, there's a Velcro strap under there. That Velcro strap wasn't there, so I had to re-sew a Velcro strap on there. But other than that, it wasn't too bad. But if you look here, now I'll pull out the old temperature gauge. Make sure it's set to Fahrenheit, because I don't know Celsius. So right there, the exhaust. That's lying. It's hotter than that. Yeah, there we go. 200, 250, 250 plus-ish degrees right there. And then pumping into the cab of the side-by-side, we're at right there, if it'll focus, 140 degrees. And that's just right now. This thing's still heating up. Like I said, I've only had it on for a couple minutes, so it's not going to be too warm, but it is pretty warm. And you can hear it. I don't know how loud it is on the camera, but in person it's not loud at all. And when you have the side-by-side, fired up, you can't hear the heater anyway, so it doesn't even matter. And the best part is whenever we stop and we're just hanging out, with friends or whatever while we're on a ride, I can leave this thing going and it stays heated inside my cab, right? So I can just leave the heater on, and inside it's always going to be warm. I don't have to worry about it being too hot because all the air gaps, like I said. And I got a remote here. There's the camera. It's a plus. It's got the add degrees, take away degrees, and then on and off. I'm going to go ahead and shut this thing off because I don't need it to run right now. And like I said, it's warm in the cab, stays warm. And all I ever do is just take this remote, stick it in this little air gap, and you heard it shut off, and it'll slowly turn down now. And I usually keep this in this little compartment on my dashboard here. Just throw it in there, close it up, don't even mess with it, just leave it alone. So yeah, that's what I do. The best part about this thing is if you have it in your shop, like most of the time what I'll do is, I'm not going to show it, but back there in the back part of my shop I have a hole drilled in the wall. And what I do is I feed the exhaust here through that hole and leave this hooked up inside of this Ryobi box, just because. Leave that hooked up in the Ryobi box, and then I take the ductwork here and I hold this part of it up, zip tie this ductwork to that and do like a snake and blow it, and it heats my whole shop up. So it heats my shop up with the same heater, and that's why I put it in the pack out kit. That way I can roll it around and do whatever it is I need to do with it. But it does take a minute for it to shut down. Well, it takes a minute for it to shut down. There we go. It takes a minute for this thing to shut down, and it takes a minute to fire up. But if you can deal with that, it makes life so much better as far as riding side-by-sides in the wintertime goes. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, if you got a couple $100 to throw at a diesel heater and you don't manage strapping it in the back of your rig, then it's the best heat that you can get for the money that you spend. Because they make the Inferno heaters and stuff like that that go in the cab, but they're incredibly expensive. They're like $400 or $500. And the other problem is, I called the dealership that I bought this from, and they said that it will void the warranty if I cut that heater in. So didn't want to mess with that. Wanted the warranty if I ever need to use it, and I have it. So I just leave it alone. And that's why I use this heater. And like I said, I can use it to heat the shop too. It's an 8 kW heater. It keeps it decently warm in here. It's not crazy, but it works for what I need it for, and that's all that matters, right? Something like that. So I apologize that it's not a lawnmower video today. I'm waiting on some parts. Once I get those in, we're good to go. We'll start rocking on it again hopefully next week, but with the holidays and the winter weather and all that stuff that keeps coming in, It kind of shut everything down here, so I don't know, maybe sometime next week the parts will come in and we can start working on it again and get it rolling. But for the most part, that's all I got, I believe. I appreciate you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one. See ya.